How's it going, everyone? It's Artifact and it's Tutorial Tuesday. Today we're going to get into a little Neurofunk bass I've made here, and I've got 3 synthesis tips for you today regarding modulation, mid-range and mix. So let's get into it. Let's have a little listen to the bass I've created here. So it's pretty dirty. I actually made this using one of the older sounds from my track Betrayal, this kind of brass sound here. And we put that into Vital to create this kind of mix between this and a bunch of kind of sine waves and triangle waves. Now the first tip I want to give you guys is regarding the modulation, and it's when you frequency modulate from an octave up down into an octave lower. For example, on this sine wave here, you can really just get some nice kind of mid-range textures. So without it, it's a little bit kind of flat and uninteresting in the mid-range. But when we use this at this sort of 20 or 30% area, we start to get this really kind of expressive mid-range coming out. And that's another point that I wanted to talk about, the mid-range. When I'm doing a lot of kind of tweaking and mixing, especially on the filter sections, often trying to pay close attention to, where I'm filtering and making sure it's down in this kind of expressive mid-range area. You can kind of see on this phase filter here how we're moving areas in the kind of low mid-range, which is where the kind of expressiveness of the bass really comes from. So that's kind of important. And this preset is up on my Patreon now if you want to grab it. And also you can get my Vital presets on my website, 20% off using the discount code REJECTS. Or if you're on Patreon, you get everything on my website regarding presets for 50% off. So that's pretty good. And the other tip I wanted to give you guys is about mix as well. So a lot of the times when I'm creating sounds, I'm using kind of effects and stuff. I'm always mixing the level and modulating the mix. So you can see, especially here on the compressor, there's a large amount of modulation on the mix because it just does something to the sound. But then I go one step further and control how much of that effect I want on the sound and put that into my LFO modulation here. And similarly on the filter, I've got this kind of phaser mid-range part into the sound, but then I want to control that using the mix knob. So these kind of 3 little tips today on how you can really get the most out of the kind of expressiveness in your sound by modulating 1 octave up down into an octave lower using frequency modulation and finding the sweet spot around here, and then also filtering and making a lot of movements in the kind of low mid-range, because that's where the expressive part of the bass is. And then also when you're applying these effects, not just throwing them on and leaving them on, but also controlling the mix level of those. So that's going to give you a really 3-dimensional sound in the end. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a wicked day. Peace.